Hello once again, imaginary audience. This is Daku, just Daku, and this is my third time doing this video, so I really hope that this works this time. Last episode, aside from playing badly, I forgot one major feature that would have been very useful for me, and that is the view replay option. So, what I've done is, spoiler alert, beaten a game, and recorded it, or saved it, so now I will record that and I can offer commentary simultaneously. Brain fart. Both during the game and after the game, that's what I was going to say. Because there's that whole big debate regarding Let's Plays and whether you should do it in the moment or afterwards with a bit of scripting and let's get into this. I am playing as orcs, and my enemy is a human computer. And what I did right off the bat was I got my little minions working. So for the time being, I'm going to use this really handy corner down here to speed my replay up a bit. Double speed. I love seeing these little guys run around as, like, coked out ants or something. Anyway, what I had done was I researched the grunt rush, which is basically a Zerg rush but with grunts. And I ended up doing that poorly as well, but I somehow managed to pull through. I got a barracks going first, and then burrow. And, as the grunt rush name implies, grunts. This time around, once I got my Altar of Storms completed, I ended up going with a different hero, just because I wanted to make sure that I would win this, because I'm a lot more familiar with the Farseer. I'm not sure if this was in one of the videos that I posted, but they're basically high shamans among the orcs, and despite the fact that they have no healing magic in-game, which I find kind of silly. You'd think they'd have at least basic knowledge of healing spells, you know? Oh well. They're a caster. They ride around on a big, really awesome looking wolf. And, yeah. Oh, and another feature of this replay is I can remove the fog of war and view everything, everywhere. I can see forever. Oh, I can also see the enemy. Here, battling a bunch of murlocs, which look so different and outdated today. Anyway, back to the real action. Standing around doing nothing. And then killing gnolls. Because I hate gnolls. My Farseer is named Magis Coldeye. I don't know why, because, I mean, his eyes are glowing red. I don't know how much more of an antithesis to cold you could get there. At any rate, as you can see from their constant semicircling, I didn't build a group here, and I just sort of ran around with all of my units playing Follow the Leader. It worked out well enough. His dog looks like he has the need to, like it has the need to go to the bathroom in this angle. Look at it. Anyway. Oh yeah, I guess I could bear to slow the game down again. I do want to manage to get this to be at least 15 minutes. Here I am killing some murlocs. It is so weird looking compared to what we have today in World of Warcraft. Magis is now level 2 and has Chain Lightning, which is one of the coolest AoE or semi-AoE spells in any game ever, in my opinion. Meanwhile, the footmen and riflemen, controlled by Arius the Pure, are moving around doing pretty much the same thing that I'm doing. For a good portion of the early game, we were virtually equal, killing creep camps at about the same rate until the deciding factor, I would say. They went this way, up into the, I think up into the hills to take care of a tougher group of creeps, while I went south with these 8 grunts, and, well, you'll see shortly. I think the only reason I won this is because the initial rush managed to damage their infrastructure pretty badly. As you can see here with the swarm of militiamen that charge out of a keep. And metal armor is not very conducive, well, it is very conductive of electricity, but not conducive to surviving it. I don't think that word means what I get the feeling I'm using that incorrectly. Anyway, here comes the paladin, launching a counterattack, but he was a bit overzealous, and he got trapped between my warriors and his own men, and another lightning bolt. And for whatever reason, he didn't pop his shield, so goodbye, Aureus. Now, Magus started to take quite a bit of damage at this point, so I brought him out of the fight, and I allowed the last of my orcs to get finished off, because they had done their job and killed a whole bunch of peasants. Killed the hero, that was the most important thing in my opinion, I think. And pretty much just banged everyone up. Brought him back to mid-camp. If I seem a bit jittery here, it's because I've just had a whole lot of caffeine. And that's on top of the mess of Chinese food I just had. I for the first time ever, I had spare ribs this week. They're unbelievable. Anyway, I'm sorry if that clipped the mic by hissing too much. Here we have one of my favorite animals. Excuse me. That's the prime rib trying to come back out. The Kodooo beast. It's not so much the unit and what it has to offer, because it's a pretty light-ranged unit with an AoE damage buff, but it's an orc hitting drums with axes. How much cooler could you get? Anyway, at this point, Magis was destroying a farm he discovered, and I utilized the Kodooo Beast's other nifty move. He can outright swallow enemies. Now, imagine you're a dwarf rifleman. You probably spent a good couple of decades training and honing your craft in Cosmoran. Yes, you went on this Alliance expedition to Plunder Isle, hoping to elevate your military career. You spent a couple of hours taking pot shots at grunts, and then all of a sudden you run up a hilltop and you get swallowed by a giant lizard, and then you spend the next couple of minutes being slowly digested by it. That turned out a whole lot more grim than I was going for. I was trying to attempt something cathartic and amusing. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be that dwarf. Anyway, I'm accompanied by a small group of orcs on a reconnaissance mission. I wanted to see what and where the previous group had been. The remaining human units have just continued to amass around the camp. They didn't get their paladin out. Oh, they're about to, but he didn't do much healing or anything. That's such like a paladin. Never over healing. That's a joke that probably doesn't fit here and probably doesn't even fit in World of Warcraft since, like, vanilla. I'm sorry, pre-BC. I don't like the phrase vanilla. I'm not even a real fan of actual vanilla. I always tend to add way too much of it to whatever I'm making. Where was I? Right, I was making jokes about forced character specializations for the purposes of raiding. Anyway, I was lucky with the Tomes of Intelligence in this playthrough. I don't know what would have happened if I had gotten too low on mana. At any rate, looked like the computer tried to make another attempt at creeping, only to get pretty banged up by these forest trolls. I wish you could easily play as forest trolls in this game. I'll have to look into mods or something in the future. That'll be fun, I think. I can do that as a series. Yeah. Showcasing the latest old-fashioned mods for a 10-year-old game. Totally. Hey, it's better than nothing. Anyway, this peasant discovered us massing outside of the camp, so we pretty much decided to just run on in. Well, in a few seconds. Come on. Alright, level 5. At this point, I'm sending out invisible wolves, which are still highly visible. And they made short work of that arrow tower that had killed a couple of my grunts last time. My poor Kodooo beast got poked full of holes here, while Arius bubbled and hid in the back for a while, like a true paladin. Sorry. The militia actually managed to take out a couple and then were smart and ran back, but unfortunately Arius was not that smart and was killed again. His army was pretty much routed at this point, although my army was reduced to a pretty low number as well, because I had totally forgotten to do anything with my barracks or bestiary. Bestiary? I don't know how to say that word either. Now, here's where I got reckless. I was level 6 and super excited about using Magis's ultimate ability, which you'll see in a second here. It pretty much ruins any architect's day. Earthquake, which looks like a bunch of stalagmite tights jiggling up and down over the surface of a very green chocolate chip cookie. But I was overzealous about dealing damage, didn't pay attention to him getting smacked by axemen, and before I could destroy the keep, I had to retreat, forgot I was retreating, headed back into combat. I'm getting ahead of myself. Headed back into combat, and then escaped with, check this, 7 health. He was pretty much out of the fight from this point forward. Amazingly, these two grunts held it together. Alongside the 2 wolves, they probably did most of the fighting. They just managed to focus fire all the wounded ones down pretty quickly. All by their own, I think. So, we commenced the ransacking. Magis retreated back to the camp and slowly rebuilt another army after a pretty lengthy delay on my part. We killed a couple more peasants and then just started taking pot shots at the keep to keep the builders busy, either repairing them or inefficiently running gold back and forth. I don't know what this guy was thinking. Maybe he was trying to put the fire out with gold? Oh well. I suppose it gets a little boring at this point. Not much else happened. Oh, except my grunt got killed by another arrow tower. Guard tower, sorry. really need to pay attention to things better. But yeah, nothing's coming out of the barracks or the Altar of Kings, so I think what happened was I just broke the AI by doing something or other. I'll speed this up for another couple of seconds. I love quick units. My army was finally on the move again. It's one heck of a marching song they've got there. I hit low upkeep because I finally decided to throw everything out there. And after I got my mana back, I threw in another earthquake. Can imagine how dizzy that guy got. No amount of repairing did the trick. The keep went down. So did the farms and the barracks. And I realized now that this was pretty easy. Easier than I thought it should be, so what I did was I took Magis. My pronunciation of his name is just going to keep on changing. And after I realized that everything was wasted here, thought, ooh, you know, what he probably did was he has a bunch of branching fortresses all over the map, and he's going to initiate a reprisal attack any second. Nope, it's just this one keep. Not even a keep, it's just a town hall. The mayor's probably looking out of the window there, utterly bewildered. Quimby! Anyway, they did that. This last farm went down. And that, my friends, was that. So, that was probably simultaneously goofy and dull. I was speaking away from the mic again. I hope you liked it, though. This was Daku, just Daku, signing off.